It is the Chibi KWG that took his time of absence to hone his skill and his aim. It is KWG07 Kuwagata Baizan, with a kit of sword, double beam sword, biped legs, and the leg ability of Through Fight, which chances for melee attacks to ignore defense when attacking opponents. Now, compared to Kabuto Benimaru, who still has a very scattered aim with double Gatling, Baizan definitely took a lot of his time of absence before his re-debut into the modern games in stride and trained very well to not only buff his kit just a little bit, but also improve his aim and his total damage potential on top of that. Basic Sword is a simple and conventional melee skill that deals regular damage with no major drawback or advantage, so you can use it very consistently with no major disadvantage or threat to your overall well-being. Beam Sword, of course, however, is where a lot of his damage does reside. It is an optic attribute attack, which means it will have a ×2 damage bonus at 30% charge and a ×3 damage bonus at 100% charge. And with pierce damage on top of that, it does honestly make it the melee equivalent to Hyper Beam, which alone will speak for itself of how high its potential damage dealing can go, especially given the fact that he has it on both arms, right arm and left arm. Pair that with Through Fight as if that wasn't enough, and you can make for some very solid and some very dangerous high base melee damage once you can get that Metaforce charge going. Which unfortunately does tie into one of his big particular weaknesses, is the fact that it is kind of tough for him to make use of a Metaforce sustained since he does not have it natively in his kit, which makes using Beam Sword rather tricky in early fights. Or if you don't have someone to maybe compensate that with, say, a Hunter Nature Metal or a Sniper Nature or Charge Plant or something along those lines to give him that passive bonus as he fights normally. If you are able to make such accommodations, though, his damage and overall balance on the field does significantly go up, as now he has the Metaforce sustained to basically hold his own on the field, as converting from your conventional melee fighter to your conventional melee nuker. So as a pure set across the board, I would honestly have to rate him a pretty flat 7 out of 10. Very solid balance, good damage deal out, good damage potential on top of that, with some very solid balance as a melee fighter, as well as good speed and a very solid leg ability that complements all 3 of his skills, unlike Benimaru where it only complements 2. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I would have to rate him just a little bit higher at an 8 out of 10, given that you can use just about any of his parts on any build on any particular team that needs a melee fighter. And because of that incredible versatility, you can make use of Sword or Beam Sword anywhere or even together in a combination, and say pair off his arms with, say, Cross Messiah or Samurai's Full Charge, to make use of that total damage potential right from square one from turn 2 forward, and then maybe pair the Through Fight leg ability with his legs on top of that for some even higher and more nasty damage that even bypasses shields to guarantee that you won't get interrupted when the Through Fight does trigger, to guarantee that who you're targeting is who you're going to land the hit on.